The Seton Catholic volleyball team is looking to build playoff momentum coming off a 5-set victory over crosstown rival Mesquite. The squad is back on the floor here at John J. McMahon Gym. The action coming up against Marcos and Niza right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Pequeno. So glad you can join us. Well, Coach James Johnson's team coming off a thrilling 5-set victory over crosstown rival Mesquite. And anytime the Sentinels can knock off the Wildcats, it's always a good thing. With the victory, the Sentinels improved to 13-12-2. They are currently in the 16th position in the high school rankings, which means if the playoffs started today, they would go on the road in the first round instead of have to playing that dreaded play-in game. So tonight, the Sentinels take on Marcos and Niza, squad struggling, 0-18 on the year, 0-7 in league play. The Sentinels looking for their second straight victory. Only 4 matches left. Tonight's Marcos, followed by Monday, it's Coconino, Tuesday against St. Mary's, and wrapping up Thursday against Arcadia. There's serves and spikes coming from John J. McMahon Gym right ahead on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. welcome you back to John J. McMahon Gym. Sentinels going for their second straight victory in league play, taking on Marcos and Niza. And as we kind of peruse the league standings, Saguaro on top, tied with Arcadia at 5-1. Mesquite 4-3. Seton right in the mix at 3-4. St. Mary's also 3-4, and Marcos 0-7. So that Sentinels win over Mesquite, such a huge victory, put them in the top 16 rankings at number 16, which puts them into the playoffs automatically, which they'll go on the road in the first round if things play out. I am joined by my broadcast partner, Adam Perry, the future star of the Chandler Gilbert's baseball team. He's hard at work, but he can take time out from his busy schedule to dial in and join us on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. AP, good day to be here. Yeah. Good day to be a Diamondbacks fan.
Absolutely. So the D-backs come away with a big win, and you know, here over at Seton Catholic, we're in for a good matchup here today, and honestly, a great chance for Seton to start building that late momentum heading into playoffs.
And that is such a huge factor, because you look at the season, it basically, it comes in quarters. Your first 6 games, your next 6, your third, and then your fourth. And you know, you look at the first half of the season and it's kind of wiped out, and you really focus on what you've did in the back half and those last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, whatever's freshest in your memory is going to be basically who you are as a team, what your team identity is. And if we can see Seton out here with some aggressive and consistent gameplay today, they're in good shape heading into the postseason. Now,
this Marcos and Niza team has historically struggled, led by head coach Fernando Vital. They're 0-7 in league, 0-18 overall. They've won only 5 sets all year, but look, they've got pride. They're going to come across town. They're located just about 3-4 miles away, and they're going to come here and give it all they got.
You know, absolutely, and you know, any game where, you know, both teams have the same probability of, you know, winning, they have the same opportunities, you can never count a team out. So it'll be interesting to see what Marcos brings to the table today.
So we do not have the starting lineups for Seton just yet, but we'll peruse the starting lineups for Marcos. Number 2, Grace Vullo, the libero. Number 4, Cassandra Medina, outside hitter. Number 5, Lakira Alexander. She likes to play the middle. Number 7, Evelyn Brasino Rodia, a senior setter. Number 12, McKenna Baker, junior outside hitter. Number 13, Natalia Cates, a junior outside hitter. And number 16, Jadian Giles, a senior outside hitter / middle blocker. Of course, Marcos will be decked out in the white and gold and black, and Seton, of course, in the home white and red. And a chance for the Sentinels to build toward the postseason. Tonight, they have the Padres. Monday, they'll host Coconino. That Tuesday match was supposed to be at St. Mary's, but what we're hearing is that because that home gym, AP, is still not ready, the Lady Knights have played all their games on the road this year, which is a travesty for those young ladies. Yeah,
you know, super unfortunate, and that's something that's so almost impossible to adjust to. And you know, when you play a team like Seton, who has all this home chemistry, the home crowd, you know, it only makes your matchup that much tougher.
So St. Mary's will come here, and then Seton has a opportunity to get another crack at Arcadia, a squad they lost to early this season. So the Sentinels have gotten their pregame hacks in, and the Sentinels have turned in their starting lineup. So I'm going to peruse over the scoring table while AP is going to give you all the thoughts and breakdown on what he saw from the Diamondbacks game.
You know, what we saw tonight from the Diamondbacks was exactly what we needed to see. We saw a lot of grit. We saw a strong bullpen. We saw a strong start from the pitcher of the Diamondbacks. And, you know, just competing through and throughout the entire duration of the game. And, you know, they look good. They got away with the win. You know, electric moment, one that will be remembered forever in postseason history for the Diamondbacks. And, you know, it's always exciting when you have such a such a hot and cold team like the Diamondbacks come out and they just a colossal victory for them tonight. They're red hot right now.
And AP, if you look at today's game, they got a great starting pitching, 5 2/3 from their starters, scoreless. Philly also had a gem from their starting pitcher as well. But how paramount was this because of the amount of momentum the Phillies had heading toward this one? They hadn't lost in the playoffs, and you got to figure if the Diamondbacks don't win this one, we're not talking a 2-1 series deficit. We're talking a 3-0 deficit, and most likely they're going to go home in 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the Diamondbacks get the big home win. Diamondbacks, of course, Sedona Red taking care of their home stadium, and Seton Catholic, their own version of red on home court, looking to get at it shortly. And of course, now we do have the Seton Catholic starting lineups, and it all starts with Emily Yaley, the senior libero, does such a great job. Your middles are Madeline Bell and Fia Fisher. Sophia Shalapur, the junior setter, having a fantastic season. Number 14, your senior outside hitter, Michaela Bell, and super sophomore, Elizabeth Steinkamp, who is just crushing it in every capacity. And we start looking at the numbers for Seton, and Emily Steinkamp, Elizabeth Steinkamp, that is, having such a great year with 198 kills. And we haven't even talked about Ryland Keene, who has been so good this year, a freshman with 190 kills. And I think for the Seton volleyball fans out there, they're really excited about the future. A lot of young players doing a lot of good things on this team. And, you know, Ryland Keene is going to be one of those great faces coming back for next season.
Absolutely. Riley, she's become a leader, no doubt, on this team. And every time she's on the court, she's always going to make the biggest play. And that's just exciting to see, especially being so young. Seton's future is bright with her.
And we talk about youth. Fia Fisher leading the team in service aces with 43, and she's so good in the middle. Emily Yaley is second with 23, and Sophia Shalapur is third with 17. On the assist side, it's all about SS. Sophia Shalapur, 405 assists. So when she's on the court, she's finding angles, and she's sharing and caring and taking care of her teammates. Madeline Coaches is second with 192. Serve receive, well, this is a very strong unit. It's led by Elizabeth Steinkamp with 331. Keene, 322. Emily Yaley with 322. And Louise Hall, 124. Blocking is where youth is served. Madeline Bell, a freshman in that middle, leads the team with 22 blocks. So we talk about Madeline Bell, so good in the middle.
Yeah.
Ryland Keene, so good in the outside. Elizabeth Steinkamp, so good in every other area of the court. A lot of promising faces for Seton in the future.
No doubt.
On the digging side, Emily Yaley wearing the libero jersey in pride. It's the red. She is number 6. 224 digs, and it all starts with the libero on the receiving end.
Absolutely.
And I really believe when Emily's on and can set them up after receiving the serve and getting them in a good position to get it out to Sophia Shalapur, get their offense clicking, that's when Seton is at its best.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you can't even have a volley if your dig isn't good. You know what I mean? If you don't give your team a chance on the dig, you know, then you are basically conceding the point.
So for Seton Catholic, 4 matches left, 13, 12, and 2. Big victory over Mesquite in 5 sets. A crosstown rival. AP, you've been in a lot of rivalry battles. How big is it when you beat your crosstown rival, and what kind of momentum can you get from that?
You know, that's just a bundle of momentum and energy right there, because what that says is that, okay, you know, maybe last year they had the better of us, but this year is our year. And we're better than them this year. We're going to accomplish more than them, and that just sets a new standard for your team.
So it was a huge victory for Seton right here on home court, avenging a 5-set loss on the road earlier this season. So the Sentinels, as we head toward the latter part of October, with an opportunity of really taking care of business on their home court. Now, the floor referee tonight is Craig Bronson, and the chair ref is Christy DeLulli. And I'm so glad I got that name right, because Christy calls a lot of volleyball matches at Chandler Gilbert. And by the way, that Chandler Gilbert volleyball team, led by Kennedy Dalstrup, is doing great things. They are charging toward the finish line in a big way. And hats off to Scott Smith and the women's soccer program. They clinched a berth to the Division II Region I playoffs, where they'll face Phoenix College next Tuesday. So
that's exciting.
For Scott Smith and his team, AP, they went through a slew of injuries. And now they got through the hard part. They're getting some people healthy. Now they get a chance to play spoiler, sort of like Marcos here tonight.
Yeah.
And when you're in that spoiler role, how much do you want it? How much do you want to bring that extra energy to pull off a victory on someone's opposing court or field?
And yeah, so that's a great point right there. And another key facet to being the spoiler is that you have nothing to lose. When you're the underdog, I mean, all the pressure is on the supposedly better team. And Marcos coming in here tonight, basically they have no pressure on them. And as long as they play clean and apply pressure to Seton, they might have a chance in this contest.
So the student body slowly filtering in. We have Freddie the Flamingo. He's on a totem pole, but we'll also see him in some capacity. So great job by the young lady who always does a great job with the cheerleading squad. And now she is, I guess she's turned into the kind of pep rally leader.
Yeah.
And
essentially,
every student body's got to have that.
Yeah.
So not only is she cheerleading extraordinaire, she's in charge of Freddie the Flamingo. So right now we're going to have the starting lineups, and for Marcos and Coach Fernando Vital, it's been a long year. And AP, I don't know if you've ever gone through an 0-18 season in your life. And
no.
And I've been part of some bad teams too, where the losses pile up. And when you're an athlete and you're a competitor, you want to win. How do you just try to block off, one negative outcome after another?
In a situation where Marcos Niza is, I mean, you've got nothing to lose. You come into every game and just try your absolute best. And, finishing a season with 1 win is a lot better than 0.
So I'm going to throw out some cliches if you're Marcos Niza. Step in and step up. If you're going to give it all you got. And there's only one way to rock. And that means come out and give 150%. So Marcos has been introduced, and now Seton and Maddie Bell in that middle. And Fia Fisher also in the middle. And those are 2 promising young players right there. Maddie Bell, a freshman, leading the team in blocks. Fia Fisher, so good in the middle. Sophia Shalapur, an extraordinarily gifted setter. And you see Rylan Keene, as well as Michaela Bell being introduced. Elizabeth Steinkamp, phenomenal. Rylan Keene, great. Michaela Bell having a solid season. So a lot of youth on this team, and the nucleus of this team is coming back next year, which is great. We'll take a moment for the school prayer and the national anthem. So we are literally seconds away as the Sentinels and the Padres about to renew their crosstown rivalry. Of course, members in the 4A Desert Sky, longtime rivals. Seton has historically owned Marcos, winning both matches last year, and the winning streak is a long one. Seton historically good in volleyball every year, and Marcos and the ladies have struggled over the course of time. But once again, it's all about energy and effort that they're looking to bring, and the Sentinels looking to build off the 5-set victory over Mesquite. On the floor, Michaela Bell, Maddie Bell, Elizabeth Steinkamp, Sophia Shalapour, Fia Fisher, Rylan Keene in the back row. And we'll see who won the toss as the opening serve is literally just underway. We are live from John J. McMahon Gym, the home of Seton Catholic, off Ray and Dobson Road. Joe Pequeno alongside the doctor, Adam Perry. On the live stream, the man who could do anything and then some. That is Paulo Hutchison. Also a big fan of Brooklyn V's Pizza, and will drop that anytime and any given place. And we always appreciate him doing just that. So it's the Sentinels and the Padres for a 6:27 tip or so right here from John J. McMahon Gym. And on the serve is Elizabeth Steinkamp. And this one is underway. Elizabeth fires it up. Padres setting up their offense. And a little bump over for the point. So Marcos coming over, making that short jaunt from Guadalupe Road and getting the first point and a little dap across. Yaley's there in the back. Shalapour in that middle. Maddie Bell is blocked. Emily Yaley tries to set it. And Rylan Keene with the miss hit at the net. And Marcos coming out, grabbing a 2-0 lead. And it's early in this one, but obviously not the tone Coach Johnson wants from his team.
No.
Rylan Keene digs it. Right side. Michaela Bell fires it. And that's a winner for Seton. And the Sentinels get on the scoreboard. Now 2-1. Thursday night football as well. We talked about the Diamondbacks. The Jaguars leading the Saints 14-3. If you're checking your fantasy stats. Yaley on the serve. Good dig out. But the Padres could not move quick enough for the ball, so this one is tied at 2. Good crowd here tonight. This is a great part of the season because you have football, volleyball, basketball is about to get started as well. And of course, Karen Self will be leading the charge for the women's team. And Carter Abey will be leading the charge for the men's squad. Two teams made the playoffs last year, and Yaley shoots that off, and that hits the top of the tape, and we are knotted at 3. Marcos playing for pride, playing for the upset. Seton playing on home court, looking for another league victory and looking to potentially move up in the high school rankings. Fia blocked at the net, kept alive by the Padres. Bumped over. Yaley back row. Shalapour, middle attack by Steinkamp. And Elizabeth fires that long. And it's a 4-3 Marcos advantage. Coach Fernando Vital coaching that squad. Steinkamp, the dig out from the back row. And that's blasted, and that's a winner by Rylan Keene and AP Rylan. She's got hops, and she's got some power.
Yep. And I mean, she's very intelligent on the court as well. She knows where to hit the ball and when to hit it. I mean, she's a star in the making here.
Padres, the middle attack. Shalapour, left side. Keene just blasted through. And now it's the Sentinels with a little momentum leading 5-4. Caleb Bell fires it over and serves up the service ace. And if you're Coach James Johnson, look, you're going to be playing a lot of matches next week. AP, what's the mindset of coming here, taking care of business quickly, and not wasting a lot of time?
I mean, just set the tone for what you want the end of the season to look like, and that's what Seton's doing so far. They look good. Obviously now almost giving up the lead, but still, I mean, they've shown flashes already here today, and they just need to keep up the aggression and stay tight.
Addie Morris checking in, and that one is given right back. So when you're a team that has struggled all season in every facet, you get an opportunity to do some damage on serve, and doesn't bode well when you give it right back. So Rylan Keene on serve. And that's a save by the Padres at the net. Shalapur knocked over, and Fia with the winner. The sweeping winner on the right-hand side. Now in (7-6). Seton lead. Keene. And that one is long. So checking the scoreboard as they get things situated. Marcos on serve. Off the top of the tape, Shalapur right side. And a winner by Fia, who fires up a laser. Now 9-6. James Johnson, head coach, perusing the floor, giving his ladies some instructions. His staff, Brian Milhone, as well as Riley Johnson. Little bump across. Elizabeth keeps it alive. Pia Fisher bumps it over. Left side attack. Steinkamp is there. Shalapur. Fia on that back row, and Fia fires up a winner. So right now, Seton with the talent advantage, and a good job right there in the middle of the floor, taking care of some business without letting anything loose fall through. The dig out. Right side, and a right side winner. A good strike on that outside, and Milani Joe with the point. So Marcos trying to stay close and maybe pull off a stunning first set victory. Steinkamp on that back row. Marcos keeps it alive. Good hustling effort by the Padres. Shalapur. Steinkamp blasts it in that back row. And a good hustling effort by Grace Vulo, but not enough forward momentum. And the Sentinels with a 11-7 advantage. Addie Morris checking out. Checking in. Madeline Coaches on the floor. Shalapur on serve. 12-7 Sentinels. Dug out. Knocked over. Violation against Seton. And the Sentinels haven't done too much wrong. That right there. One against them, so here they are with a 12-8 advantage, and Marcos on serve. Back row. And a good blast in the middle. Steinkamp fires it for the winner. 13-8. Rylan Keene checking in. Steinkamp right into that heart of that Marcos defense. Little bump over.
Wow.
Sentinels keep it alive. They still keep it alive. Shalapur. Keene tries to blast it through, and Keene does that. A 14-8. Sentinels advantage. On serve, Steinkamp knocks it through and right into Volo, and Volo could not handle it. So a 15-8 Sentinels advantage. Sentinels AP started a little slow, a little rocky, but
Yep.
they pulled together, and now they're building a sizable lead.
Absolutely, and you know they responded very well from a violation 3 points ago now, and I mean they've just been lights out since then. They look phenomenal right now, and they have a lot of momentum going into this timeout.
And I stand corrected. That was Kylie Monks on the floor just a short time ago, getting some work in, and so good to see Kylie, the senior, getting some work on the floor. And this is kind of a match where we can see a lot of faces that might not play a lot in the course of the season that work so hard. And AP, look, you've been part of so many teams that you have those kids, those players, your teammates, you love them to death. They work so hard, maybe not as gifted as others, but they deserve some playing time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know they have the playoff berth secured, so it's a good chance to give some people opportunities. And a wonderful ace right there from Steinkamp.
Natalia Cates could not handle it, so it's 16-8. Sentinels with Steinkamp on serve. Good dig out by the Padres. Knocked across. And that one is long. So the Sentinels on their way with a 17-8 lead. Steinkamp works it to the middle of the floor. And right now the Sentinels are cruising. Leading by 10. Steinkamp on serve. And we got a whistle on the floor. And Marcos out of formation. So a 19-8 Sentinels lead.
And Sentinels just blasting them right now. Foot all the way down on the gas pedal. No breaks here.
Elizabeth Steinkamp and the Padres trying to coordinate to make sure they're lined up accordingly. Steinkamp right into the middle, and Maddie Bell up and over. And the Sentinels first to 20, 20-8 with Steinkamp on serve. That one off the top of the tape. Padres keep it alive in the back row, and that one.
Wow.
I mean, you figure for something like that, the Padres should get like 500 tickets and go to the prize counter and pick out whatever gift they want, right?
Wow. That's tremendous right there. That's phenomenal. And
I mean,
they kept the point alive.
Yeah, that's something literally from Peter Piper Pizza, right?
That's hilarious.
And Maddie Bell right in that middle continues the onslaught. 22-8. So Seton wins the circus shot affair. And now they're 3 points away from closing in on their first set victory. Steinkamp, rocket. And that one drops. And Marcos will call a timeout. And you got some kids off the Marcos bench trying to provide some support. And for Seton, they're feeling good about everything right now. You're in a good, comfortable mode, and you got Riley Johnson talking to Maddie Bell about her performance, and Maddie Bell doing a nice job in the middle. And the nice thing about this, AP, Seton has the superior talent. They have the superior coaching, and they're showing it on the floor, and that's what you want to see at this point in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, after the first couple points of the set, this is exactly what Seton has needed to look like heading into the postseason. They are phenomenal right now. They're on fire. Even after a timeout, they picked up right where they left off and rattled off another 7 points, 8 points in a row. And, I mean, they just look phenomenal tonight.
So they lead 23-8 there on serve. Steinkamp rolling along. She came into this one with a good amount of service aces, and she's building on that. Fires that up, and that almost drops. The Padres keep it alive, working out that middle attack, and that one drops in. Much to the delight of that Padres bench, and that ends a long Seton run. Seton rolled off 11 straight points. So the Padres have some life. Coach Johnson talking to floor ref Craig Bronson. Now we are back to live action. Serve across, and that is right into the net. So now it's set point for the Sentinels. Pia Fisher checking in, Maddie Bell checking out. And now an opportunity to serve up a service ace is Emily Yaley, who came into 23, second on the team. Right now, Craig Bronson, the floor ref, talking things over with the officiating table. And now the whistle's blown. Emily fires it across. Padres, Yaley sets it. Little bump over, and that drops, and just like that, Michaela Bell wins it. And the Sentinels take the first set, 25-9. Good start, and one of the last remaining matches for the Sentinels. This one, Coconino on Monday, St. Mary's on Tuesday, followed by Arcadia on Thursday. So the Sentinels getting off to a good start this week after the 5-set victory over Mesquite. So we'll take a short time out. AP, Joey P, and Paulo Hutchison, the unstoppable force, right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network, live from John J. McMahon Gym. So we're getting ready to start this second set. Seton and Marcos, no one wants to wait the required 3 minutes. They're like, let's just play.
Yeah.
Let's get our game on. Let's get our game faces on, and let's just do this. We got things to do. We got study to catch up on. We got Diamondbacks highlights to watch. We got Rangers and Astros to get caught up on. We got all kinds of things going on. So on the floor right now for the Sentinels, Michaela Bell, Annalise Salazar, Elizabeth Steinkamp, Sophia Shalapur, Emily Yaley, as well as Rylan Keene on the back row. And Marcos, they're getting their dance on, led by their libero, number 2, Grace Volo, the junior. So Coach Vital talking to Natalia Cates as we are getting ready to serve up this second set. Sentinels won the first set 25-9.
Yeah, very, very one-sided first set after the first couple points.
Sentinels, it was tight for a while, 6-5, 12-8, and then from there the Sentinels won an 11-0 run. Chalapur in that middle, Steinkamp, and just like that, if the Sentinels had an opportunity to work on their demo reels for potential colleges out there, this is the night to do it.
This is the night.
All those assistant coaches out there in the collegiate world, we appreciate you dialing us in, and good save by the Padres. Steinkamp, back row attack, fires it. And that one is out. And Marcos with the early reprieve as checking in is Sienna Morales, the junior libero. Also a setter in that back row. Sentinels play a 6-2. And that one is knocked to Phoenix. So Marcos, short-lived momentum. Going back the other way.
Yeah.
So Emily Yaley wearing that libero jersey with pride. Knocks it across. Volo's there. Via Fisher right in the middle. Doing good work. And a 3-1 Sentinels lead with Yaley on serve. Student body, only a few Sentinels from that student body out tonight. Chalapur's there, Yaley. Chalapur fires it up. Now 4-1 Sentinels. So AP, if you're a sports fan, this is really the best time of the year. You got women's volleyball going on, football season, basketball, hockey, baseball playoffs. You've got everything.
Yeah.
A plethora of fun to choose from.
Yeah, October is, you know, you could argue that October might be the best sport month of the year.
Yeah. And for me, my favorite because Joey P loves Halloween.
Wow, there you go.
I'm watching scary movies every night.
Yeah.
I make sure they're on in my house, even if I'm not watching it, so I can hear it.
Yeah.
And I dress up every Halloween to feed the kids, to give them candy.
That's awesome. That's great.
And that one is long. Well, I want them to have memories, so you can see all these cute little kids, they got their Halloween costumes on, and see all these little bright faces, and you remember back when you were a kid, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You always want to make sure you got candy for them, and you share the moment with them, right?
Yeah.
Because then they'll always remember your house, and they'll be like, you remember going to his house? He was a good guy every year, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't decorated my house yet, but I might this Sunday. And that's a net violation. That was pretty clear.
Yeah.
The net moved just a little bit. So a 6-2 Seton advantage. Michaela Bell on serve. Michaela, good conversation. That one hits the top of the tape. Talked about the win against Mesquite. Obviously so excited. And that was a battle and then some. A 5-set marathon. First set was like 30-28.
Oof. Wow.
Marcos on serve. Addie Morris, that is. Tried to dig it out, could not. Coach Johnson wanting a little more focus from his team. After a really good first set, 25-9, don't want to lose that kind of momentum and just stay focused at the task at hand.
Oof. That one just barely catches the back of the court. Falling for an ace. And just like that, Marcos Niza is back in this game. This set, apologies, 6-5 now. They trail.
Marcos trying to rebound from the first set loss. That's in favor of Seton. And for Marcos. So we've kind of documented 0-7 in league, 0-18 overall. There's a lot of sets in an 0-18 year, and they've only won 5 all season. So you got, as Seton continues to draw closer to a victory in this one, and look, a lot can happen between now and in the next moments, and Marcos might be able to draw closer, but this is a team that, it's, as a program moving forward, schematically and on the execution side, has to be better to have a chance to win some matches, because this team has really struggled over the course of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Some changes have to be made, no doubt.
So Rylan Keene coming out after serving up a changeup that came up a little short.
Yeah.
And AP, that would be kind of like the changeup that bounces right in front of the plate.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And sometimes that changeup is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You got that big 4-hole hitter who's just dominating, and you're not going to give him anything. And that's a great save by Addie Morris. That's blocked. Padres keeping it alive. Back row. Kylie Monks is back there. Steinkamp blocked again. Sophia tried to bump it across, and that's a miss hit in the middle by Lakira Alexander. So some good hustle. And Elise Salazar coming back in. Emily Yaley checking out. Addie Morris on the floor, as well as Kylie Monks. Fia Fisher will fire it up. 9-6 Sentinels lead. Volo's there in the back row. Alexander on the miss hit. And the Sentinels now starting to pull away. 10-6. Fia Fisher so good in the middle. A leader for this Sentinel squad as she fires up the ace. Fia Fisher led the team coming in with 43 aces, adding to the total. Sort of like in about 3 months when I'm going to be talking about Adam Perry adding to his team high strikeout total for Chandler Gilbert.
That's the plan.
And you did play recently. You got on the mound for an inning and 3 scoreless. Give us kind of the breakdown.
Well, it was just 1 inning, but it was 1-2-3. We little chopper over to third base, and the third baseman made the play for the first out. As Seton wins a great volley right there. Steinkamp with the kill, and so second batter strikeout, third batter strikeout, and then that was it. And you know, it was a short outing, obviously, coming back from injury. That's what you have to do to rehab, and you know, it went better than expected, so really happy about it.
So when you go 3 up, 3 down, and Volo in that back row, Padres setting up their outside attack. That's a little bump over. Yaley's there. Shalapur setting up that right side attack. Bell fires it. Padres try to bump it across. Right into Yaley, Shalapur, and Steinkamp. So when you have that kind of outing, safe to say everything's working accordingly?
Yeah, oh yeah, fully back, and you know, it's a great feeling to be back in action after a long layoff, and you know, every athlete dreads surgery, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
And right now in fall ball, safe to say the pitchers are ahead of the hitters. The hitters are still trying to get their timing.
You know, honestly, it's kind of balanced. You know, the hitters at Chandler Gilbert, they work really hard during the offseason, and you know, the pitchers do the same. So the hitters really don't get out of stride. They looked pretty good. They've looked pretty good so far this fall.
Chandler Gilbert, the baseball team, made it to the Region 1 D2 finals against Glendale as Marcos wins that point. And that was after a first round victory over Paradise Valley. And that was a great series because it came down to decisive game 3. And Sentinels were down 4-1 and came up with, what, a 9-run 7th inning?
Yeah.
So a lot to build on as that gets crushed from the left side. And the Sentinels now rolling 15-8. Good job by Kylie Monks getting some work in. Steinkamp going to work. Padres, right side. Michaela Bell fires it home. And the Sentinels have doubled up the Padres, 16-8. Sentinels moving fast and furiously. Steinkamp. Little bump over. Shalapora reads it perfectly. Yaley right side. Bell, Bulo, back row, and a miscommunication by the Padres. And as they say, a miscommunication can be the cause of any breakdown in any relationship. So a 17-8 Sentinels lead. And right now, Coach Johnson talking about what's going well, but obviously he's probably, any good coach is thinking about like the next match and what they can work on and what can tighten up, and and how important is that right now? Because look, this one, it's well in hand, but you have to start focusing really how to get better.
Yeah, and you know, especially at this stage of the game where, you know, Seton's almost pulling away, now's the time for them to really try and fine-tune stuff so they head into, you know, their next matchup really on top of their game and really sharp, because you never want to, you know, get lulled to sleep by an opponent who might not be as skilled as you and then carry that over with you into your next game. So Seton's got to stay at the higher level here and just continue to outperform.
Performance is key as they continue to work with Steinkamp on serve. Of course, we'll keep it right here afterwards. We'll talk to some of the Sentinels if they can pull off this win. Sienna Morales checking in. Elizabeth Steinkamp checking out. Padres going to work. Checking in, number 18, Nevaeh Lizarraga. Sophomore outside hitter. Padres back row. Yaley reads it well. Shalapur, Keene fires it right through two hitters and cuts him down. 18-9. Sentinels as Fia Fisher checks back in. And right now, Freddie the Flamingo being held by a youngster who, if he attends Seton, no question, he's a freshman.
Yeah.
And needs a growth spurt, right?
You know, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say probably in middle school.
You sure about that?
Well,
I mean, Seton.
His friend as well as.
Seton takes the academically gifted early, so.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
He could be on his way to MIT. We just don't know.
Yeah.
Right side. Kayla on the hit. Blocked in the middle. Fia Fisher with the block party and a 29 Seton advantage. Seton once again first to 20. Emily Yaley will serve it up. Yaley right into the back row for the Padres. Knocked across. Yaley will dig it out. Shalaporo sets up that left side. Yaley's there. Right side. That time, Michaela's blocked in the middle. Padres stepping up. Going to work on the service line. Number 13, Natalia Cates. Cates in that back row. Padres knocking it forward. And Sienna Morales on the miss hit in the back row.
And Joe, you mentioned Seton being the first to 20 in both sets. And that point right there is Marcos Denise's 20th point in the entire game. So clearly a large gap between the two teams so far tonight.
Cates knocks that one long. So Sentinels closing in on a second set victory after taking the first set 25-9, looking for their 14th win of the year. Kayla Bell. That's a good flat serve that just died. Yep. Call it a drop ball in softball call that hard slider in baseball?
That's fair. I'd say hard slider is fair. Maybe a splitter. Splitters have some wicked drop to them.
How about Yaley not letting that one drop? Shalapur. And the Sentinels win the point. 23-11. Sentinels in cruise control.
Yep. They've taken the driver's seat, and they haven't stepped out since.
Speaking of driving, I'm teaching my 15-year-old how to drive.
Oh.
That's always fun.
Yeah. Some nice parking lots at night, or what?
Fia Fisher bangs it home right around the neighborhood.
There you go.
And I let her drive across the street into the Corona del Sol parking lot where she's learning how to park between tight spaces.
There you go. Wow.
Slowly but surely.
You've got it all mapped out.
Yeah. Things you do as a parent, AP. You're going to learn all about it one day. One day you'll be calling me and you're like, how do I do this? I'm like,
yeah.
Read the Joe Pequeno book on parenting. And that's blasted from the right side. And the Sentinels take this second set 25-11. They lead 2-0. We'll take a short time out here. The doctor, Adam Perry, Joe Pequeno, Paulo Hutchison live stream, and a cast of millions of Seton faithful watching right now. We appreciate you dialing us up. More from John J. McMahon Gym on only one place, the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Helped, right?
You guys are making it interesting.
We're switching up here a little bit.
Yeah?
Maybe talk about that.
What do you mean? You're going to try and lose now?
Some other faces.
There we go.
Hey, Riley.
Show off the net.
So we had the opportunity to talk to Riley Johnson, the assistant coach of Seton Catholic. Of course, Riley was a star libero right here in her time, was one of the elite players in the Desert Sky. And she informed us we're going to see a slew of Sentinel new faces coming in. That's great to see because the Sentinels lead 2-0.
Yeah.
So a lot of the young faces that don't get to play much will get an opportunity in this one. We'll see Sydney Stump. We'll also see one of my favorites, Veronica Bratko.
Bratko.
And Bratko was a serving monster in an early match earlier this season.
Yeah.
When they knocked off, I believe it was Paradise Honors in a huge match. And Bratko was a serving wonder in that. And here's a young lady who has battled and earned her time to make the varsity. And when you got a kid like that, you always root for them.
Yeah.
They've worked so hard to be part of that team.
Absolutely. And Bratko, you know, we've seen her. She's very good anywhere on the backside of the field, and apologies, of the court, and it's good to see Coach Johnson utilizing her here tonight. And, you know, it shows off depth, too. Seton showing that they have more than one layer. A well-rounded team, no doubt.
And Salazar in that middle, providing the hops and the block. Early Seton lead. So the Sentinels won the first set 25-9, the second set 25-11, and Steinkamp is just coming out firing fastballs. Looking like Kinkle out of the bullpen for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
And he's been phenomenal.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just like he's throwing upper 90s with wicked movement.
Yeah.
Daria Alexander gets it over. Knocked in that back row, and Rylan Keene serves up the winner. So a 3-0 Sentinels advantage. Volo's there to dig it out. Padres trying to step the right side attack, kept alive by Steinkamp. Shalapur knocks it over. Good all-out hustle effort by the Sentinels. Steinkamp gambled in that one, kept alive. Sydney Stumpf. Volo. Steinkamp. Right side. And that one is knocked long. So Sydney Stumpf, a freshman, getting some work in. Very nice to see. And that is a misfire by the Padres. Thursday Night Football. Jaguars leading the Saints in New Orleans, 17-9. Under 10 minutes left in the third. And now it's Veronica Bratko getting her opportunity. And Bratko just fires up a great serve. She is, in her limited opportunities, as good as anyone on the serve for Seton.
No doubt.
Now 5-1. And as soon as I say that, I jinx her. Service error by Veronica, the senior. And Veronica's playing a little libero tonight. So she'll have some opportunities to dig it out. And the Padres give it right back. So a 6-2 Sentinels advantage. It's Brian Milhone rolling the ball in. His daughter Grace played here as well. She was a star player. Stumpf on the serve over. Volo is there. Padres setting up their attack in the middle. Bratko could not dig it out. And the Padres get the point. So Addie Morris checking in. Sydney Stumpf checking out. Addie Morris, 5'5" senior. Volo on serve. Volo. Morales digs it out. Morris in that back row as the Padres fire up a winner. And that was a laser by Jadian Giles, senior middle. Volo on serve. Bratko is there. Shalapur. Maddie Bell tried to bump it across. Big left-handed attack, and Cassandra Medina on the misfire. 7-4. Rylan Keene on serve. Rylan no longer has that freshman label.
No.
She's now a, we'll call her a super sophomore now. She's late in the freshman season. You get to that point, as there is a miss hit by the Sentinels at the net. You get to that point where the freshman label, when you get to that point in the season, it no longer applies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's got basically a full season of experience under her belt, and I mean, she's just been dominating. She's adjusted so well to the high school level.
So now that you're you're off the red shirt year. Do the newcomers, do they get razzed a little bit? Do they get a little, I'm not saying hazed or picked, they get picked on or joked around a little bit?
I mean, of course, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're a freshman, you're going to hear it. You know, basically the sophomores are just on you a little bit extra about everything that you do. And I mean, that's just part of the culture, you know. It's a family sport. Everyone on the team feels like a brother to me, and you know, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Padres trying to have some fun in this set by trying to stay alive. Keene, Shalapur, Steinkamp right in that middle. Padres answer, and this one is almost right into the floor ref, Craig Bronson, who was not going to move.
Nope.
Two Padres coming right at him. Craig Bronson locked in place. An 8-6. Sentinels late as checking in is Nailani Joe. And Joe Mantiply will get the start for the Diamondbacks in game 4. That just came down on my sports wire, which might have been later than others. And that one is knocked far, so a miss hit. 9-6 Sentinels as Emily Yaley now playing the floor with Bratko with the libero jersey on. Keene, Yaley, Morris, Steinkamp, Salazar, Shalapur on the floor. Volo back row. Morris kept alive. Yaley, Steinkamp. Good block by the Padres. And a miss hit on that left side. 10-6. Yaley fires it, and that one is wide. 10-7. Yaley checking out. Maddie Bell checking out. Bratko back in. On serve. Keene, Shalapur, left side. Steinkamp knocking it down with authority. 11-7. Sentinels as Addie Morris checks out. Sydney Stump back in. And the freshman who is on his way to MIT holding the Freddie Flamingo statue with pride. Knocked across. Bratko digs it out. Shalapur setting up that right side attack, and Sydney Stump, back row winner. Good to see Sydney getting her opportunities. She's going to be counting on another freshman, tall body, can play on that outside and also worked in the middle. Shalapur, Padres do a nice job. Middle, kept alive by Keene. Shalapur, Steinkamp. Good work by the Sentinels at the net. Volo, back row. Padres, they keep it alive. Good save on that back end by Keene. Padres, and a winner.
Wow.
On a great sequence, back and forth. Give Jadian Giles some big props. Good effort there. Giles on serve. Keene. Bratko hustling it back. Steinkamp knocks it over. Good effort by Bratko.
Phenomenal.
Alexander try to knock it across, and she is denied. 13-8 Sentinels with Steinkamp on serve. Steinkamp serves up the ace. And I was really debating on playing Christian Kirk tonight against the Saints, and I'm glad I didn't. having a very mediocre night.
Yep, I have him starting. Definitely
Steinkamp,
disappointing. Steinkamp, not disappointing though, with the ace.
how are you doing in your league?
Oh man, I'm playing in 3 leagues. I'm 3-3, 3-3, and 4-2. So pretty mediocre so far this season.
Padres get it across. Bracco digs it out. Shalapur. Sidney Stumpf right into Vulo. A good hustling effort. The knock across by Neilani Joe. The freshman, 5'10". And you can tell athletically, there's some talent, athletically, physically, for the Padres. They've got some height, they got some skill. Maybe just needs a tad bit harnessing.
Yeah, a little refining, if you will.
15-9. Bratko, Shalapur, Keene, kept alive by the Padres. Little bump across by Stumpf. Sidney Stumpf. Great IQ point right there. And that's what you really like to see, an opportunity for a player. It's not all about power, it's just sometimes finding the perfect spot on the floor. She saw the attackers, the middle attack block in the middle, and she just went to the right side. Bratko, good hustling effort. Keene tried to keep it alive, could not. But give Veronica an A for effort, hustling from the back end.
Big hustle right there.
16-9. Padres on serve. Morales, Stumpf, Volo, bumped in the air, kept alive. Bratko, Shalapur, Stumpf. Good work by the Padres. Bratko, Keene will fire it, and right past Volo for the point. So a good set by the Padres, coming up empty. Sidney Stumpf on serve. And a miss hit by the Padres, Isabella Newell. 18-10. And meanwhile, the young man who's holding Freddie the Flamingo, no question, he'll be a
Pumped
freshman.
up, yeah.
He'll graduate college by the time he's like 14. He's probably, what, 8 years old, going to Seton right now, and he's probably like the next Einstein, right?
Yeah. And Stump can't make it over. So Marcos Niza gets the ball back here as Stump comes out of the game.
So it looks like the Saints, either there might have been a pick six or a fumble. Jacksonville returned it for a touchdown. I know because I'm playing against the Jacksonville defense. So I really like the way how the Saints are showing up on home turf in the Superdome.
Yeah.
So I'm playing against Travis Etienne, who's got a couple touchdowns.
That's no bueno.
Olave, who's got 4 receptions for 37 yards. And the Jacksonville defense showing up. Bratko digs it out. Shalapur. Maddie Bell blocked. And good work in the middle. Jadian Giles. And you get the sense if Jadian Giles was with the right program, she would be a force.
Yeah, no doubt.
18-13. Sina Morales, Shalapur, Rylan Keene blocked. Padres keep it alive. And a miss hit. (19-13).
Seton beginning to pull away once again, and they're approaching that elusive 20-point mark.
Keene, good serve. Knocked over. And that one is wide. Seton, first to 20. They've won the first 2 sets. First set, 25-9. Second set, 25-11. Leading here 20-13. Keene on serve. Keene fastball right into the back row of the Padres. Volo keeps it alive. Morris, Shalapur setting it up right side attack. Matty Bell on the miss hit. And the Padres have life.
They do.
Trailing 20-14. On the serve, Cassandra Medina. And Medina, the lefty, gives it right back. Sentinels 4 points away from a clean sweep. 3 up, 3 down, just like an Adam Perry. Great start. Maddie Bell will serve it up. Bell gives it right back. So if we're going to break this one down, Sentinels have been solid on serve, even though we saw the service break right there. They've been great on the return.
Yep.
Very solid on the attack. Obviously, you can clean some stuff up, but overall, very good performance, a clean performance by the team tonight.
Yeah, a clean performance, and they did what they had to come in here and do, and they did it well. They executed perfectly, and obviously don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, but this is shaping up to be a very clean win for the Sentinels here.
21-15. And lastly checked, if you crack a couple eggs, you do make scrambled eggs. That was a joke that went nowhere.
Yeah.
Sophia Shalapur.
No, I mean, I get it.
Shalapur as the floor judge, and that's Craig Bronson talking things over. Great work, and he's talking to John on the scores table. And they're into a deep conversation because 2 sets are in. Now we're in the third set, 21-15, but Craig Bronson's making sure that the score, I believe, is correct. And now we are ready to go. So great job by Craig Bronson and Christy DeLulli, who does a lot of games, a lot of matches at Chandler Gilbert. That's knocked in the middle. And a good start, Melanie Joe. 22-16. And checking in is Lakira Alexander. And you know, Coach Johnson just really wants his team to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to go to a fourth. No reason. Shalapur, Steinkamp.
Whew.
Fast and furious. 23-16. Steinkamp. Volo. Alexander gets it across. Shalapur setting up Stumpf. Back row attack. Bratko. Shalapur left side. Keene fires that up. Padres keep it alive. Volo will knock it over. Bratko will dig it out. Shalapur. Stumpf. And the Padres on the back end can't handle it. And we are now at match point for the Sentinels. Steinkamp, and this one will have to put the champagne on ice, at least for now. 24-17. Or in the case of the Sentinels, we'll put the Gatorade on ice.
Yeah.
24-17. Still set point, and that's it. Service error, and the Sentinels get it done in 3 sets. 25-9, 25-11, and 25-16. A good overall effort by the Sentinels as they continue their march. They now improve to 14, 12, and 2. 4-4 in league play. Their next match is Monday against Coconino. We're going to say that Tuesday match is also right here against St. Mary's, followed by a Thursday home match against Arcadia. So nice opportunity to end this with a nice run in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, to continue that, they just need to come out and do what they did here tonight. I mean, they looked flawless outside of maybe the first set. They got a little bit caught up in the back and forth with Marcos and Niza. But, you know, once they pulled away, they really never looked back. And throughout the entire duration of the game, it just felt like, to me anyways, it just felt like Seton was in control completely. So
the Sentinels get it done, and they're talking some things over right now with the coaching staff. And we'll take a moment to reset, and we'll be back in just a moment. AP, always good to have you on. When do we see you next on the mound for Chandler Gilbert?
Oh man, next week. I'm not quite too sure what the game days are yet, but sometime next week I'll be back on the bump.
There you go. That is Adam Perry, the voice right here at Seton Catholic. Also will be on the mound for Chandler Gilbert this year. Played his high school ball for Castile High, and now is ready off a elbow injury last year, is ready to show what he can do for Chandler Gilbert. So you can catch the young man in action, as well as the rest of John Watts' team this spring. Team that has their sights set on the Division II World Series in Enid, Oklahoma. That's what their destination is, and for them it's World Series or bust, safe to say, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. That is Adam Perry, and we'll keep it locked and loaded, and we'll see if we can get a couple members of the Seton team to join us right here. Don't go anywhere. More from John J. McMahon Gym. And we welcome you back to John J. McMahon Gym. I'm joined by setter extraordinaire Sophia Shalapur. First off, happy birthday.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be 17, if I'm correct?
It's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and you got the nice celebration from your teammates just a short time ago.
I loved it.
How was that?
Really fun.
Yeah. So that being said, you came out, you get the 3-set victory. Your thoughts on coming out here and doing what you had to do, taking care of a team in convincing fashion in 3 sets? your thoughts on the win?
Oh, yeah. I think that we really pulled through, and we kind of played kind of slow for a little bit, but I think we really picked it up to secure the set wins at the end of every set. And I think that we went on some runs, and we didn't give up.
So, Sophia, how important is this stretch? Because you're coming off the nice 5-set victory over Mesquite, which was very intense. How satisfying was that win?
That win was really satisfying because Mesquite beat us earlier in the season, so it was really good to kind of get back at them and play hard and secure that victory.
So you got that victory. Now you've knocked off Marcos in 3, and now you have 3 more matches. You've got Coconino, St. Mary's, and another shot at Arcadia. How important is it to pick up these victories? Right now you're ranked 16th in the Arizona high school standings, and maybe jumping up a couple spots and maybe getting a better seat along the way.
I think it's really important for us to win these next 3 games, not just for our standings, which it'll really help, but also because we want to end the season on a really good note, especially for our seniors, and give them a really good end of their senior season.
And for you personally, you came into this match with over 400 assists. Once again, you're doing a job out there and then some, setting up your teammates. Your thoughts of what you're trying to do every time you step on the floor?
I'm just trying to give them the best opportunity for success and help them get a kill on the other team.
There you go. That is Sophia Shalapour. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Sophia. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, thank you.
That is Sophia Shalapour, the setter extraordinaire for the Sentinels. Keep it locked and loaded. More to come from John J. McMahon Gym.
Not just being okay with it, but wanting to get a bigger lead and keep pushing. And I think we did really well. I mean, there was definitely moments we could have done better, obviously, but I think we did a pretty good job.
Absolutely. You won in 3 sets, and you've won the winning streak is now at 2, and that's building off a hard-fought victory over Mesquite. So now you've got 3 matches left. You got Coconino, St. Mary's, and then it's Arcadia with a chance at revenge against them as well.
Yes.
Your thoughts of trying to build off that, because you're in the 16th spot currently in the Arizona high school rankings, with a chance maybe to go into the playoffs on a hot streak and maybe move up in the rankings as well.
Yeah, obviously take what we did tonight, but also I just think that we're in a spot in the season where our chemistry is really good. It's kind of all starting to click, and we're kind of learning how to play with each other and play for each other, and I think that's really made a big difference. So if we just keep doing that and keep putting in the work in practice, focusing, and just doing what we're doing, I think we could do really good.
For you this year, you know, you make that switch over to playing libero. How's that been for you? And it seems like you've gotten stronger throughout the year. And what's it like for you now as compared to the early parts of the season, wearing that red libero jersey and trying to figure it out along the way as well?
I mean, it was definitely a change. I think I lived my JV year, but other than that, I don't do clubs, so I haven't ever really had that experience. So it's just kind of you said, learning along the way. And I think, I don't know, I love the progress that I've been able to see, and just the journey. It's been really good.
Yeah, and life is a journey. It's all about getting better as along the way. So Halloween is right around the corner.
Yep.
So does Emily Yaley celebrate Halloween? And
yeah.
Okay, so what are you going as this year?
I don't know yet. There's a lot of options.
A lot of options?
Yeah, too many.
Give me 1 or 2.
We're thinking maybe Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Okay. Are you Alvin, and who are the Chipmunks?
No. Apparently it's Alvin, Theodore, and the other one.
Yeah, he's just known as the other one.
Yeah, apparently that's me. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I don't know. That's
Okay.
what they said.
Got it. So Alvin and the Chipmunks, she's not going to be Alvin. She's not going to be Theodore. She's going to be the other one. And last I checked, the other one, he deserves some love as well. They're always fun. They're always exuberant. Emily Yaley, good job, kiddo. We'll see you on Monday. That's Emily, and we'll wrap it up right here from Seton Catholic. Good night for the Sentinels. They now are 14, 12, and 2. They increased their conference record, doing a good job there as well. They're now 4-4 in league play, so they're back at it Monday. Coconino, they might be playing St. Mary's here as well. And there's cake or cookies going around because it is Sophia Shalapour's birthday. I wasn't offered a cookie or cake, but it's okay. I'm just the guy who brings in the love for everyone, but she knows I'm just joking. So we appreciate you. No, I'm all good. We appreciate you dialing us up on the Seton Catholic Sports Network for all the good people like Paulo Hutchison, the live stream, Jen Hutchison, Terry Licht in the athletic department, as well as Greg Buchanan, the excellent athletic director. Once again, a good night from Seton Catholic. The Sentinels get it done in 3, knocking off Marcos de Niza. We'll see you real soon right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network.